Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I am Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Oh man, folks, before we get into this big discussion here, we're gonna need for you to go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification, because we're gonna be all over the place today.
Yeah, we are. And
So
make sure you make your comments.
absolutely. So Ken, breaking news. Coach Doc, Adrian Griffin, has been fired from the Milwaukee Bucks. 30-13, right? That's their record.
Right.
Yep, 30-13. Second in the Eastern Conference, third best record in the association. And before I get your reaction, let me just lay it out for you.
Okay.
So Coach Griff was hired, brand new coach. He was brought in with all this fanfare and celebration and how they believed in his philosophy and how they knew this would be a process in which the Bucks would have to go through. And so what was your reaction, man, when you heard that he had been dismissed?
I was surprised. Matter of fact, when I heard about it, it was like, breaking news um, in this area. So I was just like, where did this come from? Mike, I'll say this is that I think it's just an overreaction by the owners of the Milwaukee Bucks. Don't get me wrong; they're going to do just about anything to win a championship this year. To bring in Dame, that was somewhat of a surprise too. New coach. Everybody, made the comments around here that Bud couldn't, make any adjustments and things like that, especially last year in the playoffs against Miami. So, new start, new coach, promising. And then it I won't say it started to fall apart when Coach Stotts left. You know, him and Coach Griffin got into it. During the practice or whatever the case may be. He left. Um, Bucks got off to a good start. As far as the record was concerned. Midway, let's just say midway in the first 20 games, everybody talked about, the defense, giving up too many points. The games that I went to, it was just like, to me, it was just, sometimes they would play with just, with no type of emotion for the, I'm like saying, yeah, second in the East, great team. They would get off to a slow start. I don't know if you can, contribute that to coaching, but the 30-13, that's a winning record as far as I'm concerned. But I thought I'm thinking that they just lost some confidence in them, and that they want to bring in a more seasoned coach to get them through the rest of the season in the playoffs. Is that fair? Is that fair? I should say. Probably not. Is it a business? Yeah, it is. So, I saw this survey on the news, about the decision, and 92% of the people who were surveyed said it was the right decision.
Interesting. Well, I'm extreme. I was shocked. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I mean, folks that listen to our show, they know I do know Doc Griff. I do consider him a friend, and I do consider him to be a good guy. Okay. With that said, let me say this: I was shocked, Ken, and I was shocked because the question comes to mind when a person takes over any job. I don't care what it is. Are you given the adequate amount of time and support to be successful? I don't think 43 games is enough.
No.
And on top of that, my shock value is everyone talked about a process. Milwaukee doesn't want a process. They
No.
want to win now.
Right.
And so
exactly.
you shouldn't have hired him. I mean, because what you did, you set him up for failure. If you're going to say Giannis talking about a process, Dame talking about a process, Bobby talking about it, the owners talking about it, we know it's a process. You brought in, and this is what I don't think people fully understand. You brought in Dame Lillard, which I thought was, and we both agreed it was a great trade. Okay. You bring in Dame. Here is a guy that's been on the Portland Trailblazers. He's been the man for 11 years, his whole NBA career. And so he comes to the Bucks, and you expect for this to gel in 43 games. And when you don't practice, let's toss that in there. You're not even getting practice days in. And yeah, they probably lost confidence. But why these people are blaming Adrian, and again, I'm not on the inside, so I'm speaking from ignorance, but I'm speaking from a fan's perspective in what I've seen, and I've watched every Bucks game. And what I'm going to say this, Ken, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, but more than likely, the Bucks' effort was not there. They just didn't play hard. They got out-competed. They got outworked. That's not a coaching issue. So while they're talking about going to hire a new coach, a more experienced coach, this, that, and the other thing, what you gonna do about the effort? Because what happened to Cleveland when they got the brakes beat off of them is that coaching? No, you did not go out there and compete. And we can see the energy level, man. That's something you can't deny to fans. Like you can see a dude that on the football field that catches the ball and outruns everybody.
Right.
We can clearly see that he's faster, and we can see the linebacker that comes through the hole and smacks somebody. We see aggression. We see competitiveness. And what I did not see out of the Bucks until they really needed it.
Second or third quarter.
Okay. They turned it on. So to me, if the ownership is saying we want to win a championship now, then I don't think getting rid of Coach Griff is going to get you where you need to be. And furthermore, you should have. I don't think I'm ever going to get beyond the fact that this man did not even have a half a season to coach this team, and for this team to be that impatient when you are the second best record. And I understand aesthetically it doesn't look like we expect it to do. I get that. But I knew, Ken, we talked earlier, did we not, how
we talked
challenging.
About it.
Exactly. This was going to be challenging for the Bucks. We even concluded that the Bucks probably might not even win the championship this year. They might not go to the finals this year because of the challenges of the blending of such great talent. Plus, Ken, on top of that, Chris Middleton, limited minutes. Okay. Limited minutes. On top of that, Jay Crowder got hurt. Okay. How man, I'm like, how in the world you gonna let this guy go? And the question as we transition into this, what's next for them? The rumor mill is
no, Mike, there ain't no rumor. That's gonna be a done deal.
See, and this is the problem I have with that. This is the problem I have with that. Doc Rivers is not a winner. He coached for 24 years in the NBA. He's got one championship to show for it. He's only been to the conference finals twice. He holds the record for blowing the most 3-1 leads in a series. Like, it ain't nothing personal against Doc, but I'm saying your resume it's trifling. You do not come saying, and I understand now. I understand that Dame and Giannis, from the reports, I don't know how true this is, they want Doc Rivers.
Oh, that's Mike. That's a done deal. I think they were probably talking to Doc while they were making this decision.
Oh, absolutely. Because they brought Doc in to mentor
Right.
Adrian, to kind of
Exactly.
consult with him. And so I'm not going to even go there, man, because sometimes folks be setting you up for failure. So I'm not going to even go there. But I just find it strange that this is the man you bring in to mentor him, and all of a sudden he got his job. So that seems a little weird to me. But Ken,
But let me say this, Mike, is that
mm-hmm,
the things that let's just say come out to me is that when they got beat by 40 against Cleveland, you
mm-hmm,
saying to yourself, like you said, it's an effort, um, no energy, you don't come to play. But what kind of got at me is that when you struggle to beat Detroit back to back, I mean that's on a player. I mean, and
exactly.
on the defensive end, I think they're ranked what 22nd
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yep.
NBA. They're giving up about let's just say 120 points a game. I was having this conversation with one of our listeners last night, and he said, "Ken, I mean, on the defensive end, they just terrible." I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm saying everybody else is terrible too. As far as the NBA is concerned.
Kid, if they let me just interject this.
Sure, go
If they
ahead.
gave up 10 points less, they would be like 2 or 3.
Right,
That's how close this defensive
right.
rating is. Like, it's not like what I'm saying? Like, when you say they're 22nd, yes, they are. But if you look at defensive rating, folks, look it up. They are only 10, they give up 10 more points. Now you might say, well, that's a lot. But when you look at these teams, everyone is giving up over 100 points a
It's a
game.
game, right? And the other thing that I'll say is that sometimes I'm a switch. I'm just going on the coaching aspect of it. Coach Griff, sometimes he looked like he was a deer in headlights, and maybe it's just that just comes with experience. But I just think that as far as the team was concerned, is that the slow starts, we're going to try to pick it up in the you know second half of the second quarter or come out in the third quarter, But it was just like they were in slow motion, um, no energy, no fight, no nothing. Um, and it and some of the baskets that they gave up to me was just like, I mean, show some effort, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll put it like this: be professional and do
Yeah.
your job. I'll put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
So,
And the question is whether coaching will change that. And Ken, you were an athlete. I was an athlete. I never needed a coach to motivate me. If you need a coach to motivate you to compete, then there's a problem. And when I
then you
look at
should.
the Bucks, I look at the fact that they just don't compete. And I don't know what the reason is. I don't know if they're just not in the game. I don't know if it's in the locker room stuff that people are talking about now. That's a problem that you don't want to come out and you don't want to give your best effort. I don't know what it is. But what I'm saying is if you get beat by 40, don't look at the coach.
No,
Look in the
nah,
mirror.
right.
Okay. If you get beat by 2 or 3 and there's a wrong call or a timeout, now, yeah, look at the coach. But when you get beat by 40, do not look at the coach, man. And I just again, Ken, my whole thing is you didn't want to process. You were not patient enough. And the media didn't help because all the media did when it came to the Milwaukee Bucks was talk about how terrible they were on defense. You didn't talk about that they were up until last week they were the number 1 offense in the league. You didn't
No,
talk
you didn't.
about that. I mean, we won't talk about the fact that they're the number and how do you win games? You score points. Don't get me wrong. I understand that their defense needed to improve. However, I think when you change up personnel, you take out somebody like Drew Holiday, which is
Oh,
focused on defense. You bring in Dame, who is more focused on offense. You bring in Malik, he's starting. He's more focused on offense, and now he's trying to be a defensive player. You're going to have issues, and it's going to take time for you to solve those issues. And obviously they were not patient enough, Ken, because they said, you are out.
Mike, let me say a couple of things. And I'll say the ownership, right, wrong, or indifferent, they're doing everything they can to win a championship. So with um, Coach Griffin gone, Budenholzer gone, that's $25 million that they have to pay someone who's not a part of the organization.
Yep.
The other thing, Mike, is that they're going to have to pay whoever comes in, Doc Rivers, a salary also. But let me say this also, is that during the season, you have some easy victories. You let, some of the second string come in and get some time. The Bucks really never had that. The only one that I can, let's just say, remember off the top of my head is Boston. Boston didn't play their starting lineup in the second half. And there was a couple other games, but it always seemed like it was a struggle to even score or to get back into a game. And I'm just saying to myself, I mean, you predicted to win, to be in contention for a championship. You would think that would be just an effort made to say, hey, we're going to go out and play. And so we can be in that, let's just say Eastern Conference Finals or just in the finals in general. But
yeah. You're going to bring in Doc Rivers, supposedly, which I hope not. Okay. I'd rather have Kenny Atkinson than him, because Doc has failed everywhere he's went. Even though he won in Boston, he should have won more championships. Doc has, this is the thing about that. This is the thing that I have a problem with. Man, winners win. And you've had 24 years. You had a great Clippers team. You went nowhere with it. You had a strong. Listen, he coached Philadelphia, and they never even made it to the conference finals.
Yeah, but that Mike, if let me comment on the Philly team. Embiid didn't show up. Harden didn't show up.
But isn't that the coach though? That's what we're saying about Griff right now. Because if that's the criteria, Ken.
But we said effort, right? We said effort. We said effort from the players, right?
We both said effort.
Yeah,
they both. But so what makes you think? What makes you think that Doc is going to come in here and add that motivation to the Bucks when he couldn't add that motivation to the Clippers? He couldn't add that motivation to Orlando. He should have won 3 championships in Boston, and he barely won 1. And so to me, Doc is not the choice, man. I don't see what he brings to the table that what you're losing with Coach Griff. Oh, he's a seasoned coach. Well, he's a seasoned coach that's failed.
But Mike, I'm gonna just push. I'm gonna push back on a little bit.
I'm like, where's he? What has he won, King? In 24 years,
he got a chip though. You gotta give him that.
So we want to wait another 24 years. Is that what he's gonna coach?
No, the Milwaukee ownership ain't gonna do that now.
Well, they're gonna be firing another guy, because I'm here to tell you he is not the dude, Ken. But go ahead.
But the thing about it, Mike, is that I don't think Doc or anybody else is going to change the I'm gonna call it focus for the players. That's done with them. I mean, if you want to play, you want to play. If you just want to get paid, you want to get paid. That's the thing. He may bring, let's just say, a little bit more insight than Coach Griffin, because he's been around a lot longer. But the thing about it, I'm gonna say this might be the doing of Giannis and Dame of getting Coach Griff out of there.
Oh, I believe it was.
Okay, all right.
I believe it was. I believe it was mainly Giannis, but I believe Dame played a part in that. I don't, from there's already talk out there. There's already rumors out there. So I believe to be true, because I don't think if Giannis wanted him to stay, he wouldn't go. They just won 5 out of 6. I know it wasn't impressive how they won, but still they're winning. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Whether I win by 20, I win by 2. If I win, I win. I've raised the trophy if I win by 20 or I win by 2. But so Ken, with that said, with you saying that, okay, they got him up out of there. Now let's see what you gonna do.
Right, exactly. Now,
Let's because what I expect from the Bucks right now, I expect for on Wednesday to see a different team. And usually when a coach get fired, a team does come out more aggressive. They come out more this, that, and the other thing. That's usually what happens, right? So I get that. There might be a honeymoon phase here where the Bucks might play good, but I want to see consistently. And guess what? If, in my opinion, if the Bucks had made it out of the second round, it would have been improvement from last year because they didn't make it. So now that you firing a coach and you say you want to win now, guess what, Ken? You better win a championship. So just getting back to Doc, I don't think it's the right hire. And I hope that the Bucks can figure it out because there's definitely internal problems, internal issues. I don't know if there's issues among the players. Was it just between the coach and the players? I don't know what it was, but I do know this is a mess. This is not a good look. And Milwaukee has never been a franchise that operated like this out of desperation and panic.
Mike, you took the word right out of my mouth. They seem desperate right about now.
Yeah,
so we'll see. We'll see what happens within the next 2 or 3 days. I'm sure they will have a coach in place by then. The assistant coach, he's just filling the hot seat right about now. So,
and I guess there's a press conference going to happen tomorrow. So I imagine tomorrow they're probably going to announce Doc Rivers as the new head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. I hope. I hope if Doc Rivers comes in and changes the culture, and they're consistently playing at a high level, then I'm gonna give Doc props.
okay.
Ken, I will be the first one on this show to tell you I will give Doc Rivers props. But what I'm here to tell you, he's failed everywhere. I'm just gonna emphasize that. If something changes here, it will change here. But the resume speaks of the resume. And the resume says he cannot even get to the conference finals. And he's coached 24 years. I'm gonna say that again. 1 championship, 2 times to the finals. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. With the talent that he's had as a coach, it's ridiculous. But I'm willing to give him a chance. If whoever the new head coach of the Bucks, I'm willing to give him a chance, just like I did Adrian, just like I did Bud for many years. I'm willing to do that. However, I will be disappointed if they hire him. Just my opinion, Ken.
Don't be disappointed. Just give him your support. That's all.
I'm gonna be disappointed, man, because I think it's going in the wrong direction. But again, I'm a Bucks fan, lifelong Bucks fan. Will always support him. But this is messy, and it's just not a good look. And I still got my memorabilia on, so I'm not a bandwagon. I don't jump off. I'm just disappointed in how things have played out so far for the Milwaukee Bucks. Ken, you got the last word, Ken.
Well, Mike, I'm gonna say this. Locally, everybody's surprised about the decision. The Bucks do look a little desperate as far as trying to win this championship, but I think when they hire Doc, which that's going to happen, is that maybe they'll, let's just say, put their best foot forward. I think the players, they need to have a only team meeting among themselves, to hold each other accountable, both on the offense and defensive end. But we'll see if that happens or if that comes out. But season is not even halfway through, so what made this decision happen, I don't know, but we'll see. I think maybe the change will shake them up a little bit. I don't know. I'm hoping, but we'll see.
It can look a whole lot worse, bro. So we'll
Whole lot
we'll
better. We're optimistic.
folks, the world of sports unites us. Therefore, let us unite in our everyday life. This is why they play the game.